Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Wednesday, February 12th, and let's talk about wide receiver. I've got a lot of complaints in my Twitter feed over the last few days and in some of the YouTube comments about the idea of the Steelers signing or trading for a guy like Deebo Samuel, right? And some of you don't like this idea. He's washed up. He's go make an impact player. They have cap space. Go get a real number one. Deebo Samuel obviously is not that at this point in his career, and I don't think anyone thinks otherwise. Here's the problem: there isn't that player that you think is out there. There are no impact players to be had at the wide receiver position that I can see from here. If you look at free agency, you've got Tee Higgins, who the Bengals are almost certainly not going to allow to come to Pittsburgh and are probably going to try to find a way to keep, I think. But even if they can't, we'll find a way to keep him from coming here. I'm pretty sure about that. Who's left on the free agent market after that? Chris Godwin, coming off a major knee injury, is going to want $100 million. If you want to be the team to give it to him, I guess that's okay, but that's far from a sure thing. Then you got old guys, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Nuke Hopkins, Amari Cooper. Like would you rather have Amari Cooper or Deebo Samuel? I don't know. Like I guess Amari Cooper, but like only barely. And these free agents that I don't even really like that much are all going to cost close to $20 million a year because that's what the market is going to be. And then you have the trade options or the cut options, which I mean, I think Devontae Adams is better, but there's a report out yesterday or the day before that he wants to play on the West Coast if he's not going to play with Aaron Rodgers. Okay, well, Steelers are on the West Coast. I'd get Devontae Adams, that's great, but like, there's just not very many of those guys out there. Darius Slayton, he's a perfectly fine wide receiver too. Might be better than Deebo, but like, not moving the needle. Cooper Kupp, not moving the needle. Like, there's no one out. There is no, and even if you say, okay, fine, Alan, there's nobody out there in free agency, there's nobody out there in the draft, in the trade market, just go to the draft. The best wide receiver that's plausibly available to the Steelers in the draft is Emeka Egbuka, who is a high-end number 2. Like, that's what he is. That's what he is at Ohio State, let alone in the NFL. Like, he has a really high floor. That's what makes him a really good prospect. But he's not that kind of player, and he hasn't been, and he probably won't be. I mean, I don't ever want to say a player can't become something that they currently are not. I don't like to do that. It's just not very likely, right? When you look at the scenario of a guy, a 4-year player at Ohio State, been behind better players his whole career, like it's just not. It's not usually the way that plays out. Matthew Golden, he maybe has a little bit of a higher upside, but he was a 6th round draft pick as of Thanksgiving. Like, his entire draft stock is based on like 4 games. So yeah, I mean, I think the idea that the Steelers are going to make a big splash at wide receiver or have the ability to go add a true wide receiver 1, someone that's going to go ahead of George Pickens in the pecking order, that's just not happening this offseason. There's no one out there to do that. There's not even another George Pickens. Like, maybe Devontae Adams. Like, that's it. There's nobody out there that is going to push George Pickens aside. There's no true number 1 wide receiver out there available. Like, it's just not happening. The best thing that you could hope for the Steelers wide receiver position is to get a couple of these, is to go fishing twice, is to get a couple of these guys, is to get Egbuka and Deebo, or get Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams. Like, but the idea that they're going to do way better than adding Deebo Samuel for a day 3 pick, I don't think you guys are realistically looking at what's available at the wide receiver position. They may need that. They probably should try to get that, but it's just not out there, at least not as far as I can see from here. Now, sometimes guys come available later in the process that we don't know about. Maybe the Seahawks decide they want to trade DK Metcalf. Somebody wants to do something stupid, you should always let them. But as things stand here right now, I don't see how the Steelers go get a lot better receiver than a Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp this offseason. Like, that just seems like what is out there to get. And it doesn't have anything to do with the Steelers dumpster diving or their preference or their being cheap or any of that. That's just what is out there. And so, yeah, let me know what you think about that. And I think that's another reason why the team is just like, you can say that the Steelers should stop this focus on defense and focus on, you can't focus on a position where there are no, like, yeah, their offense needs to be better. Also, there are no real upgrades of quarterback and wide receiver available to this team this offseason. They got their left tackle last year. What else do you want them to do? I mean, I think it makes sense to focus on the positions where the talent is available, like defensive line, like running back. That's what it's going to have to be. That's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications here on the YouTube channel. Be back with more with Smitty at 6 o'clock for Steelers Afternoon Drive. So until then, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching and enjoy.